Welcome back to Tipping Point. I'm your host, Kara McKinney. The 22-year-old suspect who was arrested for allegedly murdering a jogger in Phoenix, Arizona, reportedly told police he wanted to look like the woman he killed upon seeing a picture of her. Zion William Teasley, who uses they/them pronouns on his LinkedIn page, has been arrested for allegedly murdering Lauren Heike, a young woman who was living in Scottsdale. The man's capture came 5 days after Heike's body, which showed 15 stab wounds, was found along a hiking trail near her home. Authorities tracked him down by using surveillance camera footage, as you can see here, and by other factors including DNA forensic evidence and cell phone location data. An investigation is underway, and police found that upon seeing a picture of the victim, Teasley said he wanted to look just like her. The suspect told investigators the stabbing wasn't premeditated. However, prosecutors believe otherwise and claim Teasley may have booked a flight to Detroit in a potential plot to escape authorities in Arizona. Prosecutors also point to a prior arrest in 2020 where Teasley accepted a plea deal that got rid of 10 out of 13 felony charges. Following that deal, which included admissions of guilt for robbery, disorderly conduct, and armed robbery, he spent 16 months in an Arizona prison and was released in November of 2022. At the time, prosecutors believed his chances of reoffending were low, but this calculation backfired and cost Heike her life. There's no known connection between the victim and the suspect in this case. However, it's possible this man previously struggled with mental health issues. As his LinkedIn profile also says, he served in the United States Marine Corps from March of 2019 to June of 2020 and was medically discharged. Joining us now to discuss is Libby Emmons, the editor-in-chief of the Post Millennial. Libby, thanks for being here tonight.
Sure thing, Kara.
Great. So he tells police he wanted to look like the now deceased woman. I mean, what does that tell you?
Yeah, I think it tells us that this is a very disturbed individual, and looking at his military record, he didn't actually finish boot camp from what I understand. And he clearly is a very disturbed guy who wanted to look like his victim and so decided to take her life, which doesn't make any sense, but is something that we see in a fair number of cases where people are envious of the person that they kill, which clearly this must have been part of what was going on with him.
Yeah, you think back to, I think it was the 60s, right, when Psycho came out and you have the killer, the one who stabs the woman in the shower and then he dresses up like his mom. So there is that association between, unfortunately, a man dressing up like a woman. We've talked before about autogynephilia, the sexual arousal some men feel in dressing in women's clothes, and they still are attracted to women. And sometimes it's a very bizarre fixation that can lead to, stalking and some other issues. But what we see here with LGBTQ is you can't discuss that whatsoever. I mean, I'm not saying maybe specifically this guy. I mean, who knows? Maybe he was attracted to they, them, and everything else because, unfortunately, a lot of people dealing with mental health issues are these days. But with this banner of LGBTQ, do you think that it allows for people who actually are evil and malicious to perhaps get away with stuff more in society than they would have otherwise, because now people can't call them out for it because the whole idea is, what, are you bigoted? And they make it like no evil person could ever use some of these ideologies for evil.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? We see the same thing with Drag Queen Story Hour. There's this new push that if you're a drag queen, you are somehow angelic and pure of heart, as though it's not really a sexual, like an explicit adult entertainment, which is what drag is. There was a case that we reported on today in Scotland where a man kidnapped an 11-year-old girl, raped her over the course of, or sexually assaulted. It didn't say rape. I'm curious as to what that was, but sexually assaulted her over a 27-hour period, and then told the judge that he identifies as a woman and wants to do that now. And what's interesting too is we see in a lot of places in Canada and also in some parts of the US where the crime statistics are being changed so that a person's gender identity is how they are classified. So this bloke in Scotland could very easily be identified as a woman in crime statistics, and it would show that a woman had kidnapped and sexually assaulted an 11-year-old girl over a period of 27 hours, which frankly, with very little exception, there are exceptions of course, but with very little exception, that is absolutely insane that that would happen. And we are seeing a fair number of cases of men who get arrested and then say that they're women. There was a case in LA, a man who assaulted a 10-year-old in a bathroom and then went into jail and could be heard on a recorded phone call with his father talking about how he was going to say he was a woman and then would get off